So let's say we wanted to create a data training for analytics to improve the data skills, data literacy for teams. I have prepared a little bit of the topics and then the content. What you need to do first is put in the content that you want to put into your program. You could upload files that you have, like PDFs or videos if you have them, existing decks or old decks, or you can just start with a prompt. So in this case, I'm going to start with the prompt, understanding the basics, basic data terms, applying data in your role. And I wanted to focus on practical application, and I wanted to focus on the why behind the data. And I am going to be using this in a blended approach. And then what are your main goals of this program? In this case, I just put in a few goals. I want my teams to be more data literate and be able to use that data on the job. So I've just put in some things around understanding the relevance of data, develop basic data interpretation skills, and apply data insights. Now, if I wanted to add more options, I will put in the use case. This is technical skills. The language, the default would be English, but I could choose up to 70 languages. I'm going to start with 3 sessions, which is about an hour of e-learning content. It's pretty short. And then on target, I always recommend putting other, because the more specific you are based on the culture, the context, the better the AI agent will know how to do that. So in this case, I have going to choose retail employees across various US locations. Now, if you're in a different location, the images and everything will then be informed by your target audience. I'd like to make it educational, and I would like it to be an intermediate program difficulty, or maybe we can make it basic. It'll be more fun. I'm going to generate images and use emojis. And so now it's going to get started. So typically this process takes a few days to create, but in Gnowbe AI, it will take about 30 seconds. So now the outline is finished. I can look at data demystifies, why it matters, my second title, your data toolkit, and data in action, which is exactly what I wanted it to create. But of course, if I wanted to give it feedback and tell them I wanted to change the order, add session 4, I want session 3 to be session 2 instead, you can always make those changes and it would automatically do that for you. But for the sake of demo, we're going to move forward. Now, you are still always the boss of your program and you are the main curator. So the AI agent will never do work without getting your approval first. So now it's going to summarize what you've told it to do, and then it will tell you how many tasks it will take to complete this. And so if you're approving it, now it'll start the creation process. So what you're going to start to see is watch the program creation engine create before your very eyes. And this typically takes manually without AI about 3 to 6 months and can take hundreds of hours. But in this case, it's going to take about 3 to 6 minutes. So while it's doing that, because it's a retail environment, it's already picking images. From that, it's creating a program cover page. And you're going to eventually see that it'll be 3 sessions, 30 actions, and about 60 minutes of content. Now, it'll do about 80% of the work, and you should still do the 20% of PCH, personalization, customization, and humanization. So as it's creating, you can add things like your name, retail head of L&D, right? Retail head of learning, company ABC, right? And then you can allow your users to message you so you're able to personalize and, of course, add your picture here as well. And so you can take a picture even from your computer and camera and then take it from there as well, or take a nicer picture. And so it's starting to create now. And as it creates, it'll take about 3 to 5 minutes to then create not only the program cover page, but all of the details of the entire experience, which is based in adult learning science. Okay, so it's created now the program cover, Unlocking Retail Success, your guide to mastering data. And it's telling you it's so far created 1 session, 21 minutes and 10 actions. And it's telling you that this is going to be designed to focus on practical application and retail world examples to help you. No complex jargon, because that was the input that I told the AI instructional designer. I wanted it to be simple and basic for retail staff. So the first session I'm able to start is going to be on data and why it matters. Now, why it's automatically creating a multimedia action starting with a reflection, a read, a view, a quiz. quotes. So each one of these is a micro action that's automatically been designed based on adult learning principles for effective retention based on this concept of know, which is your content, think, making meaning of the content, applying it to your job, and sharing it. So let's start with the first question. This is asking me a personalized question. Hi, to my name, So Young. When you hear the word data, what's the first thing that comes to mind? No right or wrong answers here. Let's just brainstorm. So the whole idea is to invite your learners to participate with you. So it's not just a one-way passive learning experience, but a very, very active one. So data, I think of numbers. I can share that with my team. Then other people can also share that with me as well. And this is where the social learning aspect comes in. So it's already knows enough to do that. And then it's going to give me some of the content. What is unpacking data? It's more than just numbers, price tags, how many sweaters, etc. And then it's giving me a view, some images around what more data is. It's giving me now a quiz. The powerful part here on the quiz is not only is it giving me the quiz and the questions, it's going to tell me why it's right or wrong. So based on what we've covered, let's check our understanding. Data plays a crucial role in many aspects. It's only for managers to worry about. No, that's not quite right. It's valuable for everyone. It helps make better decisions. Yes. And it's telling me why it's correct or why it's not correct. So some of these details can take quite a long time, and the AI is doing it for us automatically. And then I can move on to the next action. So in this case, it was not a scored assessment. It was just a friendly quiz. Of course, if you wanted to make it scored and tracked, you could do that as well in a counted assessment tool. So now we're going to talk a little bit about data and the different data terms, because we want to teach our staff about the data lingo that they would be exposed to, maybe like inventory or customer feedback. And then again, there's another reflection. And you'll see these reflection questions built in throughout because it's based on adult learning to help the employees retain the information and be able to apply it on the job and not just memorize things. So that is session 1. There's a nice quote here about information. And then, of course, other team check about what's what in terms of the data. And so all of these things are different options to actually help your employees to learn better. And it's automatically being created. And there's a summary of session 1. Session 2, as you can see, is underway. And there'll be a word puzzle here. So it's a different set of micro-learning actions, all grounded in research and science, in order to help the learner both retain and apply the skills that they have learned. At any point in time, though, you are still the boss. So if you want to add in a new action, you can add it manually here. Videos or YouTube links or videos or files or assessments you can create, or certificates. But you can also get AI Magic Creator to help you create that new action type as well, based on existing content you have, based on a prompt, or just based on the next logical action. And then you can also do it at the session level. Each session now has multiple micro actions, and you can, of course, add sessions manually, or you can use the AI creator to upload additional information and create a brand new session. So the power of using AI would be at not just the action level, the session, but also the entire programmatic level. Happy creating.